We have an incredibly active evening through Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, and I think this is just the start of quite a bit of severe weather. That's going across the south. We're also watching California and the west coast as a tremendous amount of moisture moves in here. It's going to bring a ton of rain, big snow into the mountains in the order of 5 feet in some areas. Absolutely phenomenal. And of course, the severe weather across the south today, tonight, and into tomorrow and into the weekend. It could be really impressive. So we're going to dig into those details today. Let's start off with the future radar. This tells a good story. We're going to have the snow continuing across parts of Michigan. It's been quite snowy. I've heard from many of you across this part of the country saying, hey, snowmobiling this year has been good. It's not been the case in the years past. I totally get it. So more snow on the way tonight, and there may be more on the way after this. Further to the south, some freezing rain still going across parts of Ohio, Indiana tonight, even into Pennsylvania and parts of West Virginia and Virginia. The severe weather continues to march to the east overnight. The tornado threat will continue across the south, especially into Alabama, Mississippi, and eventually into eastern Louisiana and parts of the panhandle of Florida. This also pushes into parts of Georgia overnight, too. The Storm Prediction Center highlighting this area for tornadoes with a significant threat here. Multiple tornado watches are out. Get the latest at weather.gov. Make sure you stay weather aware tonight. It's certainly a good night to have that NOAA weather radio because if you lose power, hopefully it has battery backup and you can get those warnings. Another thing to watch out for, too, is tomorrow. Our tornado threat shifts off to the east into parts of Florida. Some of this will be overnight into the early morning hours and through the day. So more problems across the south as these storms push off to the east. This is 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6 a.m. You see this moving to the east into parts of Georgia, stretching out really from the Carolinas all the way down to the south with your severe weather likely south of this line. There could be a few isolated strong storms into North Carolina too, something to keep an eye on. And we start to warm up a little bit across Virginia, West Virginia, and we transition to just rain as a bit of a southwesterly flow starts to develop. The snow does settle down across parts of Michigan, and but we do get some lake effect kicking in behind this, so we'll see that through the day Thursday, and some heavy snow here from the upstate of New York all the way into parts of northern Maine. In fact, up into parts of northern Maine, there could be up to 10 inches of snow, and then we start to dry out. Some snow showers lingering behind this, and then overall, quite a bit quieter before our next storm takes shape. And it's first going to move into the west. It's going to bring some big time rain across California. Take a look at this. This is an impressive sight to see. A really strong area of low pressure moving into the west coast. Out ahead of it, a funnel of moisture just pounding into the mountains. You get that orographic lift. That air has to go up and over the mountains, and it's going to squeeze out a tremendous amount of rain, especially across those west-facing slopes. Southern California, there's going to be a problem here, especially in those burn scar areas. Mudslides, certainly an issue, and we're pushing rain and snow into the far southwest, too, so we could see some snow into the Four Corners states. Here's where it gets quite interesting and honestly quite concerning. A very strong jet stream moving through this trough that's starting to push off to the east. So now we're looking here for some severe weather as we head into Saturday afternoon. Again, this starts to look kind of weird. When I say weird, you've got a lot of diffluent flow. It's spreading out in the upper levels, and that right there is a key telltale sign of severe weather. And again, that's why I think you're seeing the Storm Prediction Center already really bump this area up to watch as we head into Saturday. Now, heading into Sunday, that risk goes much lower even beyond that. So Saturday's the day to watch. Let's continue to push this out in time, and we'll talk about the precipitation. There goes the snow out of the northeast. Here comes the heavy rain and snow into the west. It really picks up as we head into Thursday, and it's going to be extremely windy too. Winds could gust up to 70, maybe even more, especially across the higher elevations, and big snow into the Sierra, also into the Intermountain West, up into parts of Idaho, Montana, even Utah. There are multiple winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories out for this area. To the east, high pressure building in, a little bit quieter here across the central and eastern United States, maybe a few showers across Florida, and then this system continues to push to the east. Now, out ahead of this, we're going to see some snow start to break out across parts of Iowa, even parts of Illinois, up into Wisconsin and Michigan. More snow here for you guys. And there's really going to be two rounds. That's kind of round one. Now we've got low pressure moving through the plain states, pushing off to the east. And on the northern side of that, there likely will be a little bit more snow that gets enhanced heading into Saturday. Low pressure moving through the central part of the Tennessee Valley into the northeast. And out ahead of it, we're going to see some snow, some sleet, some freezing rain. New York City, we may start as a bit of a mix, and then we go over to some rain, I think. But southern New England, again, pretty much the same thing here. If I had to guess, from Connecticut over to Boston, we may start as a mix, but as low pressure passes just to your west, we'll probably go over to rain. Further inland, snow here, and then cold air builds in behind this. Now, I also think you got to watch the Carolinas here for some severe weather. Anywhere south of this low, I think, is game for some strong thunderstorms. Still some time to go before we iron those details out. And then that low moves off the east coast. A lot of cold air moving in behind this. So the snow shower activity picks up heading into Sunday, around the Great Lakes Sunday night into Monday, and then another system moves into the Pacific Northwest. Quite a bit of lake effect snow going here too, with really windy conditions. It's going to feel cold and blustery for the Northeast into the Great Lakes through Monday morning, and then we have a streak of snow that looks like it's going to try to move from the northern plains, really from North and South Dakota, down into parts of Missouri and Iowa as we head into Monday. It looks like some light snow, but nonetheless, some more wintry precipitation on the way here. And if everything can come together, we're getting close to that day 6, day 7 time frame. We're trying to develop something here along our cold Arctic boundary. Now, is this going to be another winter storm? Is it going to track exactly like this? I doubt it. This is the newest data from the GFS. If I went back to the midday run, it was very similar. I trust this a little bit more. It uses more data, but you get the idea of something happening. And this is a really cold core of air. Your polar vortex has been absolutely decimated, and it's broken off into pieces across the northern hemisphere, and one of those is parked right across the Great Lakes. So a lot of cold air and a bit of a negatively tilted trough. This could develop a pretty decent winter storm moving up the east coast. We are in a really stormy pattern, and it looks like it's going to stick around for quite some time. Let's talk about the snow in detail a little bit closer here into the Northeast. There's the rain, the severe weather across the south as we head through Thursday. And then that moves out into the Northeast, and then the cold air behind it. Here comes that next system moving through into the weekend. Again, the severe threat across the south. We could actually end up with more ice here into the mid-Atlantic, and then eventually changing to rain. I think we change much faster this time as low pressure rapidly moves northeast, and then the snow and the cold moves in behind it. How much snow are we talking about over the next couple of days? Well, this takes you out through Monday. I'm going to back it up and slowly take you through the next couple of days, and we're going to add everything up because these are 3-day totals. So let's take what's falling right now. So we're going to have some already being counted, more snow on top of this Saturday and Sunday, and then maybe even more into next week. So just an incredibly snowy period here across this area from the Great Lakes into parts of southern Ontario. And if you really push it out, I mean, look at this. I think it's just really active over the next couple of weeks. Probably a little bit overdone on the GFS, but you get the idea. All right, across the Central Plains and the central part of the United States, high pressure building in. There comes the wintry precipitation, some snow developing on Friday into Saturday, the rain and the severe weather across the south, and then high pressure builds in again. Dry weather, at least for Sunday, and then we get more snow, light snow breaking out as we move into Monday. And then across the west, the closer look here, look at all of this moisture, heavy snow into the mountains, and again, it could be really heavy. This cold core of air aloft will move into Northern California. It's going to drop our snow levels down, and it's going to keep the snow really going here with a lot of instability. And then some of that, again, moving into parts of northern Arizona, into New Mexico, into Colorado. So quite a bit of snow into the Wasatch, into the Colorado Rockies, and the northern mountains here in Arizona and New Mexico. Now, the heaviest snow, without a doubt, is going to fall in the Sierra. Look at these numbers, 67 inches. I mean, that's absolutely wild, the amount of snow that we're going to see here over the next couple of days. Even in the parts of northern Arizona, we're going to get some snow here too through Monday and Tuesday, but it's really going to be pretty high in elevation. And then a little bit further to the north into Colorado, quite a bit of snow into ski country here, and then back into Utah. Snow will be falling into the Wasatch, several feet possible over the next couple of days. So good skiing here outside of Salt Lake City. And then a little bit further to the north, let's go up into Washington because we're going to get quite a bit of snow here too into the Cascades of Washington and Oregon, and more snow also into the interior areas of the West. Big snow into Idaho, Montana, feet and feet of snow, even into Wyoming. So get ready. More winter to come, not just across the east, but also across the west. That's all I got for now. See you next time.